So, hi everyone. We're gonna continue on the neovim feature. Kind of figured it out. How to solve the last issue, but now we have to do the doings. Yeah. Let's find our spec stuff. This is it. And make stuff. This is the test. Let's see what we modified. Do command. Can be removed. So this is what we get now. We have to, after we delete the first line, after we delete here, from here to the end of the line, I would do a join command here. And then I have to adopt the marks. Or I should adopt maybe the marks and do the join after. We will see, but the basic idea is when we do a global command, first we iterate, we do a regular expression on each line. Everywhere where it's matched, we kind of remember. And after that, we go over all these remembered lines and do the manipulation. At that point, we here we just do the delete command. So we delete everything that matches. And after I did the first deletion, I would need to adjust all the following marks. That ranges of the marks will be adjusted accordingly because the lines will move and therefore we need to adjust the marks. This is the basic idea. The harder part is to actually do this. You have to find the proper commands for this. And I'm actually don't know if they exist or I need to write them on my own. So this is the join command. Like delete lines, but adjust marks first. So we're already in this function in the last stream also. Actually, I'm not sure which marks are changed here. Okay. I think these are the marks which are these marks here. So these marks we can write here. These are adjusted, but it's not the marks that I need to adjust. I mean, I need to adjust them too, but primarily I'm searching for the other marks. Div mark, just first maybe let's find the place where we remember all the regex current or regex matches. Yeah. Just this are other mark adjustments. Int marks. Okay, but this are basically the same as here. What's deleted lines? And number is the first line that needs displaying. New the first line. Below the changed lines, before change. Changed lines redraw. Changed common. Okay. This is, I think, different ones. So let's search then for command C here for global. Line break check. check for Control C pressed, but only once in a while. Okay. Something else. Execute a command for each line that has been marked. ML clear marked. ML mark. First mark, clear mark, set marked. So I guess now we need a new function which kind of would be called adjust marks or something like that. So first marked, set marked. Let's do this. Let's copy this clear mark. Oops. Adjust all DB marked flags. Call this then also adjust and see. Here it's called adjust. Okay, and then I think it's fine. Oh, this here also adjust. All right. Search for this one. It's used here and there. Okay, I think after compilation this would get this error will go away. First marked. Okay, so it's not the white, it's line number here. Then number where first after which will be made. Yeah. Line number after which adjustments has to be made. Then column, right? Column number. Column number after which adjust will be made. Like that. What do we need else? Size T. Bytes. Deleted bytes. Something like this. And also maybe how many line numbers have been deleted, right? But in our case, we can only delete one line because we do it line-wise. So in each line. Let's try it like this and then we will see. Right. Which we did. Like this. So find line action. If ml delete or ml insert, the line count is updated while searching. Look up line number in a mem line. Find the data block containing the line. This also fills the stack with blocks from the root to the data block and releases any locked block. Lowest marked. Where the first mark may be is remembered. If it's 0, there are no marks at all. So if lowest marked is 0, right, then we could just return. Also here, nothing to do. Oops. So then it goes over and line number. We don't update the line number, I guess. Find line. ML find. This means just find the line. Okay. What happens on a join? Just thinking. We would not find the line, aren't we? The pointer returned by the get function only remains valid until the next call. Break check. Column adjust mark in the line column, and further add number amount to the line number and that column. Named marks, lowercase and uppercase. This is the function where we looking previously in jump marks. Here's a position. ML locked. Last line ML locked. What are the locked ones? DB data block. A data block is a leaf in the tree. Text of the lines is at the end of the block. Text of the lines. Text of the first line in the block is put at the end. The text of the second line in front of it, etc. Use the order of the lines is opposite of the line number. Free space available byte where text starts, byte just after data block. Number of lines in this block. Yep. Index for start of line. Followed by an empty space up to db text start, followed by the text in the lines until end of page. Followed by an empty space up to db text start. Byte where text starts, bytes just after data block. So let's see, how do we write stuff? Set marked. So invalid line number. Okay, lowest marked, lowest marked. Find the data block containing the line. This also fills the stack with the blocks from the root to the data block. This also releases any locked block. So a block header. There's a block header for each previously used block in the mem file. The block may be linked in the used list or in the free list. There is a block header for each previously used block in the mem file. The used list is double linked list. Most recently used block first. Blocks in the used list have a block of memory allocated. Free list is a single linked list, not sorted. The blocks in the free list have no block of memory allocated, and the contents of the block in the file, if any, is irrelevant. Okay, so I think I don't really understand the concept of these blocks. Block number here, block numbered from 0 upwards have been assigned in place in the actual file. Block number is equal to the page number in the file. The blocks with negative numbers are currently in memory only. Okay, then we have the data block, right? We have index. Associated memline also contains line count. Current buffer. Associated memline. Current buffer. ML locked low. First line in ML locked. Block used by last ML get. Marked here. Current buff. Buffer memline. Flags. Locked dirty. Locked was changed. The low bits of the DB index hold the actual index. The topmost bit is used for the global command to be able to mark a line. This method is not clean, but otherwise there would be at least one extra byte used for each line. The mark has to be in this place to keep it with the correct line when other lines are inserted or deleted. The mark has to be in this place to keep it with the correct line. Other lines are inserted or deleted. So what happens with these marks when we move? Yeah, I think they are still marked. The join happens with the mark. When true sets the marks, else the caller is expected to set these marks. Use format option. So yeah, I think I had a wrong assumption about this. I thought it's kind of when we do a regular expression match, I thought we kind of remember which parts of the line were matched in these marks, but this is not the case. It's just the line number. So can be here at the X global. How this works again, we search here. We get only the match. So if it matches or not. And then we have this reg match information. So here's the information where the regular expression actually matched, right? So if we are here, let's see, and this global bit. No, we are actually here in this else first. So iterate over lines. We do a regex. Then we have a match info here. Then we set it as marked. Then we do execute. It goes for each line that has been marked. We're here and we are executing. Over the marked lines. And at that point, we don't have the information anymore about which regex was met, or where the regex matched, right? Structure to be used for multi-line matching. Submatch. No. Starts in line. Start position number. Line number, column, start position number, and ends in position just before column. Just before the column. So it's excluded. The line numbers are relative to the first line. The start position is always 0. There's no match, the line number is -1. Number of submatches is limited to 10. Does this work? I don't get it. Do we remember only 10 matches? Did I understood that correctly? This is done for each line. This is done. Then we cut here and we do then the execution. Set PC mark. Set the current position only once for global command. If global busy is set PC mark will not do anything. If there is an error, global busy will be incremented. Set the previous context mark to the current position and add it to the jump list. So this is done once, right? Okay. Then we iterate here. Just looking if we somehow update here index mask. If we update here that we already read the line with this mark, because what I'm wondering is if we kind of remove the mark after we get here the first marked, kind of, I guess we have to, because else we would not get the next one. Right. Or we just do the lowest marked. We increase the lowest marked. Because here we do a clear marked. We would not need to clear the marked ones, right? If we would do it here. Maybe it's kind of a cleanup function then, in case we don't run this while loop. There are more checks here. If the global is busy, and wondering if we can rebuild this to work. With this xarc t directly, at least for the delete command. I could pass then the whole range instead of line-wise ranges. Not sure if this is a good approach yet. Do command. What is the P command? Put. So if command is null or command is an new line, then the command is P. What we could do here also, we could count here how many new lines we have, but it would help only, I think, on the delete command, because on the delete we remove the lines, and therefore we need to know how many we removed. Then I could do a join after that here, but for all other commands, execute on X command line. Execute command line when it's not null. Command line is null or more lines are needed if get line is used. Hi, Stefan. No, it's not. Actually, it's not new. Just the cam is new. I have two cams now, and yeah, just one that points to my keyboard. I just thought maybe it's less boring if you can see me typing. Thanks. Yeah, I have it, I think, for like 3 or 4 years. Something like that. Yeah, I'm doing fine, thanks. How are you doing? Yeah, you were for a long time not on the stream, right? Any news? Something you want to share? You have a farm? Okay, cool. Got a new project car, Volvo 850. Okay. What do you mean by project? Kinda. Do you try to pimp it, or is it broken or something? Does count as old timer, right? Oh. This sounds nice. Yeah, I had lately also something to do with cars. I'm not a mechanic, and also don't do much stuff on my car. But lately I had some issues with the car, and then I realized on new cars, or someone told me that on new cars, even if you switch the battery, you have to reset kind of the information about the battery in the control unit. So you need a CAN bus adapter and something, a software which can reset the stuff. Else, if you just switch the battery, it behaves like the battery would be old, because internally it counts how long the battery is used, and if it's used for a couple of years, it reduces the max a percentage to which it's charged. At least this is what I get told. And yeah, you need to reset it. Yeah, OBD adapter. Yeah, you're right. It's not CAN, it's OBD. Yeah. And I bought one. VCAN, it's called. Must arrive tomorrow or something like that. Should be arriving today, but I was not at home when it arrived. Or I was at home, but I was not at the door like that. So ECU, yeah. No, there is software with it. I just don't know how mature it is at the current state. But the good thing about it, it's open hardware. It's beacon. Sorry, beacon, like this. And it's seems pretty cool, and you can do a lot of stuff with it. I have to see how it. This is the newest one. If I can do the stuff with it, and what else you can do. I hear that on new cars, this the things that you can do with it are not sure with this one, but generally speaking, you can do less stuff on new cars because they sign the packages that you kind of put into the car or install into the car. So if they are not signed properly, you cannot override stuff. This should be for every vehicle, as I understood that. But there are not too many vehicle profiles. Where was this? I think you need kind of add them. If you're scanning your car, you can just maybe add it here. There are no for Ford, which I'm driving currently. But yeah, I have to look into it. It was just, I was looking for an OBD2 adapter, and then I found like two, one from Chinese, which is also quite good and costs half of the money from this one. But this one sounds like really fun, and it was open hardware, so I think the new one is not opened yet, so they said that it will be provided, the bill of material and stuff like that, but the older ones are already open, something like that. Yeah, it looks really cool. So I can maybe in next, when I get the stuff and I play it a little bit, I can say more about it. But currently I just bought it because it sounded pretty capable. Even if it does not have any like too much profiles, but you can just read them for yourself and create them. So I need to dive into that, but yeah, we'll see. That's why I like older cars. Nothing has lockdown and everything was made with repairing in mind. Yeah. Currently they kind of lock down, and I think the reasoning that they're saying is that others cannot hack you, right? I mean, there is truth in it, but also it limits you what you can do with your car, which is kind of sad. Yeah, that what I have to do is easy. That's, yeah, but it still costs money if you let someone do it, right? And just changing the battery, it's pretty simple. And I think even I would not need this one. You can do it with the manual. You just need to do some like pushing of buttons in the right order or something like that. But I was thinking this sounds like a nice project, so I bought one. I have a Ford. I have actually two Fords, Ford Focus and Ford C-Max. But they are not too new, so I hope they are not locked down completely. But yeah, we'll see how this works out. And they have their own app and stuff. Yep. I was for a long time looking for something like this, where the hardware would be also open and hackable. Back then I could not find anything, so. Yeah, there are too many interesting things that you can do in your free time. This was just one of them. Hacking on neovim, right? Also interesting. I got also a 3D printer. I think the last time you were on the stream I didn't have one, but now I have, and yeah, printed some replacement stuff for the kids' toys currently, and also started with this project, Dactyl Maniform it's called, I guess, to create your custom keyboard. Seems like it's alright, just make sure that your OBD is not relocated. It's where the pins on the OBD are rotated. In order for a card to be harder to steal, make sure your OBD is not relocated. It's where pins on the OBD are rotated. Okay. Yeah, we'll have a look at this one. Thank you. Yeah, this Dactyl, I printed it. I don't know if you know this, but this what was this called? Cosmos keyboard. Yes, I think this is the one. Yeah, from Ryan. This is a pretty good site to create your own. Let me just find the right one. This is the one. Seems like this has currently some issues. Or my internet connection is bad, I'm not sure. Come on. It hangs somehow. Yeah, static HTML sites are pretty stable. Maybe it's just also on my side, I'm not sure. Just takes quite a while. Yeah, maybe it works later. The thing is, you can just create your own keyboard, like a 3D printable version of your keyboard that you like, and you can customize how many keys you want to have and how many rows, columns you want to have, and also if you want to have trackball, right, and stuff like that. So there are many things you can choose from, and at the end you get I think an STL file out of it, and you can print it, so which I did, and now I need to wire this up. For you it works, so yeah, then it's on my side. I'm not sure why it's like this, so I'm not sure. Yeah. Do you have an keyboard which is kind of not a regular one? Yeah, you need to get a microcontroller, yes, but if you're located in the US, you're also lucky because he sells also specific custom controller. Oh, now it works. Not sure what it was. He sells also some custom stuff like this Plum Twist PCBs, which I bought, but not from him because he don't ship to Germany. But someone who works with him, Scree or something like that it's called. Scree, yeah. This is just, and from this side they ship to Germany. This is, I get this one. There's the logo of a cat, Scree. And yeah. But he sells also like the microcontroller, a specific one. It should be just easy to work with, and also this pumpkin patch PCBs, which kind of nice. You don't have to wire things. You don't have to solder stuff. You can just kind of wire it up, and you're good to go. So if you don't want to tinker too much, but you want to have a custom keyboard, that's pretty nice what he has to offer. And it's open source. Like the biggest part, I think there are just one or two things which are closed, and you can get them with the pro version, which cost like $10 or something like that, which I bought also. I think we can support this guy. It's really amazing what he did. But I think maybe to Serbia he is shipping. Not sure because he's not shipping to Europe. Yeah. Okay. So then we try further to investigate here and find maybe a solution. To command line. This is where we then run the one command part. And then we go in here to the range stuff. Correct range. Quite a lot of stuff here. Which happens here also. Post registers. And then we, at the end, we execute the command. And then we jump in here. Wait, yeah, execute. Yeah, execute. Then we go in here, do user defined command, no, else. So then we are here at the else block, and then we find the commands via the command index here for command delete, and then we call this X operators function. But this could be nearly everything, right? So at the top, I think we cannot know which. So we could know from here which command it is, because here we pass the command, but we have then to kind of parse it again. So it would be parsed 2 times. And even then we would need to know for which commands we need to count how many lines we removed or end of the lines removed to adjust it properly at the top. And I don't think it's feasible to do that. And from here it parsed through so many other functions. Cannot just give here some hints to the lower function to do things differently. But even if I would adjust them here, if I would adjust the marks, don't think it would solve my problem. So there's an initial way how I wanted to solve it was to adjust the marks. But let's just play it through. So when we would select this part here, and these lines were marked from the global command, and I would, in the first step, delete this and do this, right? Move it up. Then even if this line, if I would adjust the marks so that this line is marked, in the next iteration here, let me find proper here, the proper place here. We iterate over the smart command. So in the first iteration, I would do this, right? Then I would go into the second iteration here. Be here. And even as if this line is marked, I would have here different columns, because at the second iteration, I would do these commands here, assuming that this would look like this, but it's already up, and I cannot know this at that point here because I do not look into which command we execute here, so I don't know if it was a delete or something else. I don't know if the lines were manipulated, right, in the second iteration. So I'm not sure how to do that. One thing we could do maybe is remembering the line number here. of the marked, and then first marked, and so if we go in here, but remember like 90 previous line, something like this. And if we go in here, we do previous line. Don't do it here, but rather do it here like this. So if we remember the previous line, do this line. Is it possible? No, it should be the minus something, right? -1. -1 is not set. Or we can set it also to 0 because line numbers are 1 based, 0 based, so this would be not set line. Okay, and then we can check if line number what I want to do here is find out if the marked lines are after each other. Then the idea would be to combine them. This makes sense. If I combine them, then I could run this global x1 command at a range and not per line. And then I would do that. I hope to overcome this problem that we have, that we need to adjust the marks, because like the lines that we do in the next iteration, they change. Or maybe the whole mark lines approach does not really fit into this character-wise manipulation. Maybe this has to be done differently. Just asking myself if this is maybe the approach. I should try to remember. So Now we would find out if this line number follows the previous one. So if previous line number, if previous line number bigger 0 and this line number is equal line number minus 1. Right? Should be it. If this is true, we have the else case here. Also, put this whole thing here in the else. Yeah, we will just try this out if we need to. So this. Okay, wait. And when we have this, then the previous line and the current line following. But then I would have multiple of them. Like, okay, if we have first marked on line 1, 2, and 3, right, then if we are on this line, it follows the previous one, it's fine. But then we have to look further till it's ends. Okay. So when this is true here, we do continue. Maybe I'll do the last break check here, but continue. Right. But we have to change this. Previous line has to be equal. Smaller. Or equal. And 2 minus 1 is 1, so we would have true here. If we are here, Go here, -1 is 2. Welcome back, 7. Yeah. So we will here -1 is 2. I have to remember actually till I get somewhere here in first marked something else, right? Like 6. Then this would be the end of my range, and then I would need to execute and then reset. So let me then just lines count also 0. So I would here do then, if this is true, I would just increase lines like this, or just plus plus, right? It's also possible. And I thought about another cool project I want to do. I want to make my own direct drive wheel with a hoverboard motor. How hard can it be? What is a direct drive wheel? Direct drive wheel. Ah. This sounds like an interesting project. The PC steering wheel. Okay. With a hoverboard motor. Are you into electronics? So you're familiar with you are familiar cannot say that. Familiar with that? Direct drive means that the wheel itself it's connected straight to the motor without any belts. Okay, I see. Like a regular force feedback wheel. I'm kinda into everything. Okay. Like there is not a single thing I'm not into. That allows for more torque. Instead of max 2 Newton meters, it now goes to like 20. Straight to the motor. Okay. There is no belt place, so it is a lot more realistic feeling. Okay, I understand. But this is like for racing cars, right? Because the modern cars have like stuff in the steering wheel, which kind of how to describe that, helps you, right? Yeah, I understand this is for simulation. Yeah, servo, and also stuff like if you drive like drive a corner, right? And after that you place your steering wheel at the same position back, but your wheels are not at the same place as they were before, because something, maybe it is servo, which kind of I think maybe it is servo. If you then just release your hand from the steering wheel, it kind of rotates a little bit after that from alone. Line assist, yeah, maybe this is line assist. I'm not sure. I just know the feeling like there is something in between, so it's not really that you're directly like steering the wheels. Yes, even cars in 90s, 70s had it. Line assist. Maybe it's line assist. Let me see. Steering wheel. Yeah, it's something else. Don't know how to search for that, to be honest. Yeah, or well, your wheel turns back because the wheels themselves have no more tension to stay at previous angle. So naturally, without any force, your steering wheel straightens out. Yeah, I know what you mean, but I think it, or at least it feels different. Force feedback on simulators. It is used to emulate exactly that, and also bumps and stuff like that. Ah, nice. Okay. So there is more to it than just a steering wheel with a motor behind it. You mean city server? Hi, Victor. Welcome to the stream. Steering, increase power steering assistance, making the steering wheel lighter and easier to turn at low speeds. City mode enhances the feeling of servo-assisted steering system, but the servo itself is the system motor or a control valve that provides the assistance, not the component found solely within the steering wheel itself. It boosts the power to the steering system, which can be either hydraulic or electric. Provides a lighter feel. This makes it easier to maneuver. Yeah, this could be it. And now it's loaded. And also not completely, as it seems. Crazy. It worked pretty good last time I showed it. Not sure why it's different this time for me. Yeah, I think it feels like when you turn your steering wheel, the one thing is like it feels light, and I think this is the servo, right? And then when you drive into the corner, like drive a corner, and then you release it, it feels as there is more to it than just the force that kind of bring back your wheels, and therefore your steering wheel turns back. But this feels like something helps it to rotate back into his position. Okay, yeah, then it's the servo. Yeah, okay, understand. Because it seems like it does it really smooth. Servo works both ways, even if you turn the wheels or if forces of the spinning wheel are acting. Okay. Okay, I understand, yeah. Okay, so it's for both things. Stefan, another thing, you said you're into everything. Are you also into robotics? I saw lately one thing that also was pretty interesting, and it was not only one thing; it was basically two things, which both has to do with robotics. One, which seems pretty nice, is this assistant robots, like cute assist, cute with C, right? Cute assist. And kid robotic assistant. Yeah, this I saw it on Reddit. It looks like a spider or something like that. This is not it. I think it was in robotics. Maybe it was also in AI or something. Cannot find it directly. Can search here somewhere, right? There. Maybe it was AI related. Yeah, this one. Coco. Something like that. This is pretty interesting one. I also thought about building this one, but I need just to build so much knowledge about robotics because I'm absolutely not done anything for robotics. This looks really cute. I'm not sure. I think they want to sell this stuff, so it will not be open source. As I as I understood that, not sure about this. But something like this to build would be really interesting. No, it's not useful at all, but it's cute. And you can learn a lot, I think, if you build this one or something similar to this. Yeah, but I'm not into easy things. I would like to when I build something like that, then it would be similar to this one because should be kind of spider-like because I like how they move. Yeah, spider or yeah, or hexapod like, and doesn't have to have like 8 arms. 3 would be enough. 6 as a whole, I mean, would be enough. This is also interesting thing. And the other thing, what I was also looking into is Hope Chair. I think you know this one also, right? And then I thought about maybe having kind of to-do list or something on GitHub where people maybe could vote what to do next on stream, because I have a couple of ideas, but I would like to do them all, and maybe you could help to decide. You don't know about this. This is really interesting because I hope JR, JR stands for junior, and this one gets sponsored by Hugging Face, and it should be an open source humanoid robot at the end. So one that you can build yourself. And this is the repository, and they have already stuff in there, so you can already build the arms and I think other stuff too, but it's not ready yet. Honestly, I don't like the idea of humanizing robots. Why? I think from the technical point of view, the most people do that because people are so that versatile. So if you get a robot who can move as like in the same freedom as a human does, you can use it for many things. It's kind of multi-purpose robot, I would say. I think this is the biggest advantage. Because I feel like we should all be aware that these are just machines. Yeah, I think this could be important that we don't forget that. Did you know that most people tend to thank ChatGPT because they believe it makes a difference? And it shouldn't. It scares me. Yeah, I think currently it does not make any difference. But if AI gets better in the future, we should be kind to them. If it really starts to think for themselves, right? Which could take a while till this really happens. But then we should be kind. Yeah, I mean, yes, it is a tool, but when it starts thinking for itself and learn for itself, then I think it will also act for itself. Then it's still not a person, but being mean to it could have consequences, right? Yeah, I understand your point. Yeah, yeah, I understand your point. The thing is, maybe it's like too futuristic. But when they start to think for themselves, are they then only things? This is the thing then. It's hard. I think it's hard then to really um reason about this. If this is then a thing or it is more than a thing. I mean, it's still not human, but um if it can learn for itself and then do decisions based on what it's learned. But yeah, I mean, if you have a robot which can think for himself, do you really think he needs us to build more of its kind? It gets pretty philosophical, I guess. But yeah. Once it can reproduce on its own, I think it would be more of a person, kinda. Yeah, I mean, produce itself means at that point reassemble just a new robot, right? And if they can think for themselves, at that point they definitely can reproduce themselves easily. But yeah, it's uh, too far in the future, I guess. Until then, I think this project is really cool. They have like also pretty advanced hand or arm. Let me find one. This one, Dex hand. I think on YouTube there are better videos about this. Dex hand.
It is nice when we start coming back to life. It is nice when we start coming back to life.
So this is this one is good. I think you see here how good it can move actually. Yeah, I think if they get managed to build the whole robot, then you can improve on the parts and also, as you said, use only parts and use it for people who lost like an arm or a foot. I read somewhere, I guess that they are also like AI driven protease. Does it is it in English protease? I'm not sure. Yeah, where it's AI driven and it helps like the one who wears it to translate what you want it to do, like how it should move, and it adopts via AI, so it does it more smoothly. I guess AI could be useful in that regard because it can learn which nerves are wiring when someone wants to move their non-existing hand. So it adopts and learns. Yeah. In some time it becomes his hand fully. Yeah, this is also what I think it's kind of interesting about that. It could be useful for many different things. I just like the idea that this is developed in open and that other people can build it for themselves. And I mean, they look also that this is not too expensive. So this is not only the goal to make the hand and provide the build of material and like how you can assemble it, but also that it's not too expensive to assemble one for yourself. Because then more people can do that and yeah, play around with it and improve also. Like there are so many tinkerers and makers who could improve on this design in future. Like this, the same stuff with 3D printing. There's so many things that people improved, and now 3D printing is like the printers are really cheap, and you can do a lot of with them, even with the cheap ones. Yeah, you really should do this. Yeah, it is super useful for many things. Now I'm like, now that I have one, I just every time I see something and I need or yeah, mostly when I need stuff or see somewhere, I think if I could 3D print it. And for many things, you think just, yeah, I could, if I need this, I could just print it for myself. I would also like to get a laser cutter. It's also like a 3D printer, laser cutter, and one thing maybe in the future, a CNC desktop mill. I mean, this is also pretty cool stuff. And there is one in the making from the Voron group, which is called Cascade CNC. They showed it this year in May. So maybe the design should release end of the year or maybe beginning of the next year, something like that. I went to school for CNC machining, so I'm quite familiar with familiar I cannot say that. Why? I need to try this. Familiar with how it all works. I could make many of it on my own. Yes, exactly. Or even just Latte is useful. What is latte? Oh, which just spins and you can cut from the side, right? Cylindrical parts. Yeah, something like that I used when I was a kid. We did it with wood. So you could just have a small wood part that you put into it and it spins, and then you could cut it with tools and make like yeah, I don't know what we made out of that, but yeah, it was interesting as a kid, definitely. Just I just don't know too much what I could really do useful with this one. I think there are a lot of things that you can do with it, but just I don't know them. If you're did a CNC school, then you could just build a Voron, right? By yourself. Voron printer. And depending on how much money you wanna spend. Because this would be there are kits out there. This would be one of the best printers I think you can get, because there are also like tool changer kits and stuff. Pretty interesting. You're a crazy dude, really. Yeah, already did a lot of stuff. Yeah, it was much more expensive. Now it's much cheaper, and also have like this tool changer mods and stuff. Not sure if it was a thing back then, but now you can just have multiple heads and switch between them for multi-material prints and also multicolor prints without too much waste of filament. I feel like multicolor is already too much, like just white filament is enough after you can paint it. Yeah, not sure. I think two colors or something can make sense sometimes. But I think more interesting is really doing multi-material prints, like doing like having different filaments to let's say printing how does it called support in a different filament. I would like is one of that can do ABS plastic, which is tricky because ABS produce toxic fumes, so it would need to make a chamber around it. Yeah, then you don't need how do I call it, Core XY 3D printer. They usually have this case around them, and you can put an air, it's called air purifier. Yeah, they are available, different ones. Mine is without case because mine is with a bed slinger. How it's called, slinger. Bed, yeah, bed with E, bed slinger. But I bought stuff around it, so I could do also ABS printing, but there is also something a different filament. It's not ABS, it's ASA, which is less toxic, as I heard. This is a less toxic than ABS. No, okay, I was wrong. Okay, it's even higher toxic. ABS plastic would allow me to print car parts. So I see you will order a 3D printer in the next days. Most important thing is their melting temperature, at least for me. Okay. Yeah, but I think if you would just get an Voron, they are with chamber, so they are enclosed, and then you can just get an air purifier, and if you would put it somewhere where you can release the purified air in the city, it would not be harmful, I guess. So this would be legal then. So yeah, this is also a thing that I would like to do. Build a Voron 2.4. You know how it is with US students, no money. Wait, I thought your not from US. Didn't you say you're from Serbia? That's why I want to build my do-it-yourself direct drive wheel, so I don't have to pay $500 for just the base. No, yeah. Serbia, Balkan. Yeah, just previously somehow thought on completely different countries, so don't know why. But yeah, you're also in Europe, so you cannot buy this plump, this one, plump twists, because you don't ship to Europe, I guess. I think it was Europe, it was not just Germany, because of some European law or something like that. But as I said, Scree keyboard, Scree LLC, the big Scree. Yeah, he ships to Europe, so. And there he has also flexible PCBs. And this is actually where I bought my. When I solved this issue, the last test failing on neovim PR that I'm preparing, then I will continue with my keyboard, maybe also on stream. And then I can show my bad soldering skills to everyone. I believe there are companies in US you can order it too, then they ship it to you, no problem. Oh, okay. So I will just save it here so I can proceed on next stream here. We can try this out. So I think I have to count. Let's just comment this out. That does not have an error there. I would count here the lines. This would mean actually we need to reset. Which would mean reset lines also to 0. And here, if this is like that. and previous line number like this. And then we would do an else if here. Right, and check if previous cat go away. Move there. If lines bigger 0, should mean that previous line is bigger 0 or 0. Lines so like this lines is bigger than 0, and that should be enough because there we check already. I think this should be enough. And then we could just no, I cannot pass more than one line. So I cannot pass a range here. Completely ignored this before, so I would need to pass here a range line number, like start line and end line, to being able to pass. This could be possible, right? So if I just switch it here to be this one, just line 1, and the other one line 2, right? Then we have line 1 and line 2. Here we would do just like this. This will change later when we rebuild, but then I could just I don't need this part, I guess. I don't need this part. Oh, no, actually I would need this one, I guess. Yeah, this one would be needed. But here I could do the current line number and the current line number minus lines. This one just find everywhere where we have used global. Okay, this should be it. Okay, let's rebuild this one. We'll try that, and then this does not work. I will continue in the next stream. Let me just this one is not needed anymore. Invalid range. Oops. Poke myself in my eye. Wait, I never set previous line. So actually, if it's 0 or previous line is equal. If it's 0, then we have to set it first, right? Move on. It's not 0 anymore. But the previous line is equal. A number -1. Then we move. So this should be better. Let's see how this works. Out of range. I guess I have to do the same here. Line number is line 1 equal this. And just for now, line 2 is just this. And then we need to compare if line 1 equal line 1, then we need to do this, and if line 2 is equal to this. So like this, because else the columns would not be properly set if we are on the first line and on the last line and everything in between is marked also, which is the case at this test. Still invalid range. Hmm. What? Nightbot is going crazy. You found something to help with your do-it-yourself wheel. Let me see. Do the force feedback wheel. Here you go. I decided a weak entry level force feedback wheels. Do you want more power on your steering wheel? Do you want to feel all details that DD wheel is capable to communicate but constrained by budget that falls short on branded alternatives? It is not a problem anymore. Just build yourself without much pressure on your pocket. This sounds exactly what you want, right? I just want Daybot. And I think you have also to build Daybot for yourself. And here you go, 3D printed parts. At least it looks 3D printed to me. They made firmware for it. I just love open source. This is just crazy how many people do cool stuff and just put it in the open. If this is super easy, I just need a hoverboard motor. Why exactly a hoverboard motor? What does make it so special? They go infinite on both sides. They go infinite on both sides. Okay. Also, they are connected freeways. And they go just around 15 Newton meter, which is just enough to peak torque. Enough of peak torque. What do you mean with connected freeways? I guess some electric scooter motor could work also. Oh, I see. Because many other motors just rotate in one direction, right? They have one direction. In this one, because it can drive forward and back. You have two pluses and one ground. Okay. One for one direction, other for the other. Okay. Yes, but these don't rely on transmission to go other way. Make it super simple. There is no reverse for them. They just go in the direction they get us from. How does this work? I don't. Yes, I'm not too into this fields here, but it sounds pretty interesting. Do you have a streaming setup? So if you wire it up and you build it, just drop me a link. I would also like to see that. Just go in direction I got a plus from. It just makes it more convenient to wire it all up. I mean I have OBS but no camera. I will record some gameplay when I make it. Okay, yeah, sounds good. You can drop like in Discord a video or yeah some gameplay footage. I should make it like in 2 months. Then I should get some money. Yeah, just when you feel like doing it and feel like you have enough money and time to do that, would be interesting. Really great, yeah. My goal with this is to make a full do-it-yourself sim racing setup. So do-it-yourself cockpit, do-it-yourself wheel, do-it-yourself hand brake, pedals, like even the shifter. Well, what is the shifter? What? CNC bike. Ah, this is a shifter. Okay, I understand. Then you'd it's called shifter in English. Crazy. There are so many different. But then you're not far away from creating your own car. The one you shift gears with. So I would make it a 6-gear shifter that can also act as sequential. Yeah, depends if you're doing like electro car, then you don't have to have a shifter. And everything else is also not too much. So a new Tesla alternative. I would be like 5% there. Open source Tesla, yeah. Osla. Open source Tesla, Osla. This would be really crazy. Someone would really build an open source or better open hardware car, right? This is the next level of open source. Maybe we're asking DHH to create his own car because he is really into racing, right? So maybe he has interest in sponsoring an open source car. Yeah, why not? And if this is something that drives you and you like to do that, why not? Just starting with one thing, right? And then step by step. Just so that I can upgrade it and work on it as I want. Do-it-yourself motion system. What do you mean by motion system? So you mean your your chair or you sit where you are sitting, just that this also. Yeah, this would be a hard part, I guess. Sim racing motion system. German sim racing. Just like that. But this one looks also pretty do it yourself, right? The hard part is the software for it. I mean, can if you can manage to build something like this, then maybe the guys from the previous link that you sent me will help you out to write the software for it. You need to write support for each of the games, maybe. No. Yeah, I'm not sure if you need to do that for each game, or maybe if you can up with some smart solution to derive motion from image, like if you just record what you're doing, like yeah, recording the monitor output, right? And maybe you can analyze it with some smart LLM or something like that. FF Beast Motion System. Not yet. They are pretty active. Well, not all games have support for it, and you need to have no latency. Oh, I understand. I actually would have to know about bumps and jumps in advance, so that when you go in air, it would go up so that you can feel hit on the ground and stuff like that. It's pretty complicated technology. Hmm. Yeah, I think it's more complicated than I currently imagine. Only a few games have support for it. Like there are two, I believe, and maybe Assetto Corsa. Yeah, next step after your own do-it-yourself motion system would be to write your own game with Godot engine. Yeah, you can build pretty many projects around it, right? You just start to imagine stuff. Dream big. So, but I have to go now. So, Stefan, nice that you joined. I had fun. So, hope to see you in the next one. And yeah, good night.